When you give radiotherapy for prostate cancer, especially when you extend fields because it's more high-risk prostate cancer, you tend to get very serious side effects, and especially side effects in the bowels. And I wanted to try to understand if the microbiota had a place, let's say, in terms of these side effects in the bowels. There are a number of studies that have addressed this, so some therapies have been tried. Those therapies include the therapies with the microbiota, so things like probiotics, for example. But it struck me that there were very few, very few actually, studies that actually looked at what was the difference in the microbiota between patients that have and do not have side effects of radiotherapy. So that's what I set out to do. We recruited 3 different cohorts, one of which addressed the acute side effects of acute gastrointestinal side effects of radiotherapy. So those are during and shortly after radiotherapy, and another cohort to look at the late side effects of radiotherapy. And we also, because at the Royal Marsden where I was working, we had a service that sometimes included colonoscopies to patients that had these very big side effects. We had the opportunity of sampling the mucosa in some of those patients. And we analyzed independently all of these cohorts, and it gave us a very surprising result, something that we were not expecting. So that some short-chain fatty acids, and I highlight the fact that they are some, not all, some short-chain fatty acid producers, including a bug called Roseburia, a bug called Clostridium 14, were higher in patients with side effects from the radiotherapy. Now, as this conference has been debating up until now, short-chain fatty acid producers are supposed to be good, not bad, and this was a very surprising result that we are still following up upon. But our current working theory is that there is a balance between some patients that have some condition that might make them susceptible to these side effects, but where the microbiota is hanging the balance, so it's giving them what we can call gut health. And then when radiotherapy comes in and brings these bugs down, what essentially happens is that then they notice their bowels and the problems in the bowels, and that's what drives the side effects. We're still working on this, so we did an associative study. It's not a causative relationship, it's an association, and we need to study it further, but the results are very promising, especially in terms of predicting patients at risk. And this can be combined with the usual tool that we use to predict patients that may go on to develop those side effects, called dose volume histograms, which we employ very commonly in radiotherapy.